Hey everyone, and welcome back to OntarioCryptids. Today I have 5 stories to share with you all. The first 3 are articles I found in newspapers, so that they are rather short. For these 5 stories, we'll be looking right here in my own backyard, Ontario. Oh, and Mona Alice, I have not had much luck finding stories surrounding the CFB Petawawa Sasquatch encounters, but I'll keep on looking. Okay, so as you know, I'm always looking for great stories to be shared on this channel. So if you have a story that you would like to share in a safe environment, then forward your encounter stories to OntarioCryptids@gmail.com. Okay, so why don't you go grab yourself a beverage and get cozy in your favorite spot and sit back and relax. Okay, so this newspaper article was submitted by Eric Schneider on Friday, June 29th, 2001, and it was written in the Nunatsiaq newspaper. And so this took place in Kavalik region, Nunavut, and the nearest hamlet is Arviat, and I hope I pronounced those areas correctly. The article begins with a title, Signs of a Sasquatch. A legendary ape man, sometimes called Bigfoot, have turned up on the west coast of the Hudson Bay. Earlier this month, a government official discovered a set of meter-long human-like footprints west of the Winnusk First Nation Reserve near the Polar Bear Provincial Park, Ontario. It's definitely not a bear, Winnusk Chief Abraham Hunter told the National Post. I looked at them. They were 6 feet apart walking. Hunter said elders have told many stories of Sasquatch living in the area. 2 elders claim to have sighted the creature about 20 years ago, he said. An official analysis of the print has not been conducted. Okay, so this second article was submitted by Ray Gavel on Friday, July 27, 1923. And so we're heading to the Temiskaming District, Ontario, and the nearest town is Cobalt. The article begins by saying, Mr. J.A. McCulley and Mr. Lorne Wilson claimed they have seen the Precambrian shield man while working on their mining claims north and east of the Woodlaufer mine near Cobalt. This is the second time in 17 years that a hairy ape-like creature nicknamed Yellowtop because of the light-colored mane had been seen in the district. The 2 prospectors said that they were taking test samples of their property when they saw what looked like a bear picking at a blueberry patch. Mr. Wilson said he threw a stone at the creature. It kind of stood up and growled at us, and then it ran away. It sure was like no bear that I have ever seen. Its head was kind of yellow, and the rest of it was black like a bear, all covered in hair. The first report of the creature was made in September of 1906 by a group of men building the head frame of the Violet Mine east of Cobalt. It has not been seen since that time. The second article was written by the same fella, Ray Gavel. This one, Tuesday, April 16th, 1946, and we are heading back to Temiskaming District, Ontario, the nearest town, Cobalt. It looks like they've had multiple sightings of Mr. Yellowtop. The article begins by saying, Old Yellowtop, the half-man, half-beast that is supposed to be roaming the wilds around a cobalt mining camp, was reportedly seen again, this time by a woman and her son who lived near Gillies Depot while they were walking the track into cobalt. The woman, who did not want her name made public, said that she spotted a dark, hairy animal with a light head ambling off the tracks into the bush near Gillies Lake. She said that she did not get a closer look at the thing, but said it walked almost like a man. The sighting is the second such report to be made since 1907 or 1906. A search party may be formed to try and find old Yellowtop. All right, so this one takes place July 16th of 1996, and we're going to Victoria County, Ontario, and the town is Lindsay. I saw it back in a forest walking my dogs in Victoria County, Lindsay. I was walking my dogs across the road in the big cornfield, and when I got to the forest, my dogs started to run off. Then a couple of seconds later, they came back crying and whimpering. Then in the distance, I saw a hairy, tall, and ugly thing. It was probably 8 feet tall. I'm pretty sure it was a Sasquatch, so I put my dogs on their leashes and started to run away. A neighbor down the road said he heard some weird sounds outside of his house a couple of nights ago. Also, my friend said that he was walking his dog in the same place, and his dog started to bark like crazy at something. He heard footsteps in the distance and then started to run. Okay, so this is going to be the last one for today, and this was based off of a research paper, it looks like. In any case, this one takes place on June of 1993. We're going to the Renfrew County of Ontario, and this occurred between the town of Springtown and Burnstown. I'm going to read this as the news article, or not news article, research files have been written. So it starts off with the encounter, and it says, witness and his girlfriend at the time were parked along McLeod Road, a gravel back road that parallels the south shores of the Madawaska River. They had left a friend's place in the early morning after a party and had chosen to park for a while. Sorry, didn't mean to put that in there. The car was backed into the entrance of an old logging trail off of the main road. The couple remembered noticing a foul stench in the air, like a sewer backed up or rotten meat. At about 5:30 or 6 a.m., the witness left the car, leaving his driver's side door open, and walked beyond the rear of the car to urinate. He heard a small noise to his left and turned to see a large, black, hairy creature standing upright only 30 feet from him. The creature, which the witness felt right away was a Sasquatch, just stood there motionless while he finished urinating on his way back to the car. He called to his girlfriend, "My God, look at this! Get out! Get out of the car! You gotta see this!" He remained at the car and watched the creature for what seemed like a few minutes. As it simply checked us out, the creature finally turned and took 10 to 15 strides back into the bush and got behind some cover. Witness said its arms swung and it was silent as it walked upright into the woods. It didn't take long for it to get a fair distance. I could see it between the trees and some leaves where it stopped. It turned around again to face them, watched them a bit more, and finally fled. Witness left the scene shaken and stunned. They did not speak of it to anyone until near day's end. Witness's description of the creature. I'm 5'11", and it was a good 2 feet taller than me. It was at least 3 foot wide. It It was completely covered with long blackish brown hair from its head right down to its toes. The only places I noticed where there was no hair was around the eyes and the hands. I could see that in the chest area there was less hair in there, like on a gorilla. It had a chest like a bodybuilder. The hair went right down to its arms, almost to the ends of the fingers. On its legs, the hair went right down onto its feet. It had big human-looking feet. There wasn't much hair on its feet, and it had blackish-gray toenails. That's how close I was. When it walked away, I could see the soles of its feet. They were blackish in color and very wide, about 6 inches wide, and maybe 14 to 15 inches long. It was more of a flat foot. The arms were maybe the same length as a man's, but very muscular. It had pretty straight sides, no curves, like on a woman. It had a tall head and not much of a neck. It had a deep sunken eyes, and you could see the skin in there, kind of a brownish-black leathery look to it. Where we would have eyebrows, it had a ridge that stuck out a fair piece. I don't remember anything specific about the mouth, but the nose, 2 large nostrils like a gorilla. There was hair on the face, but you could make out where the nose area would be. Additional witness comments. In no way was it human, nor a human dressed in any disguise. And the muscles on that thing, impossible. I've been back to that spot maybe a couple of times and still gives me the creeps. Boy, it scares ya. You're darned right, it scares ya. Environment. The spot of the encounter is literally on the lowland portion of the Madawaska River Valley. The terrain is rather rugged in the immediate area and heavily forested by mature species of Great Lakes, St. Lawrence type mature mix of white pine, spruce, and cedar, sugar maple, red oak, balsam fir, elm, ash, aspen, and white birch. There are a few old logging skidding roads present at site and likely elsewhere in the region too. The area would have been heavily logged over during the square timber era, but it has again become a mature forest area. Many large conifers and hardwoods exist at site. A wide creek, Kippers Creek, flows under McLeod Road at site and becomes a sheltered bay of the Madawaska River. In itself, most of the southern shores of the Madawaska River, both upstream and downstream of the site location, is steep white pine forest and rugged with virtually no development apart from the odd waterfront cottage. There are various old pastures, fields, and homestead sites interspersed among the forest. There is more forest in the site area than fields. To the south and east of the forest is expansive and quite mature. On the topographic map, this expansive area contains primarily forested wetlands, creeks, and a few small remote lakes. There are only a few dirt roads and trails that enter into this area. To the north and to the west of site, beyond the Madawaska River, lies much heavily forested areas also, eventually becoming a vast wilderness called the Madawaska Highlands. White-tailed deers are plentiful in this entire area. Comments. Witness seemed very interested in having a lie detector test done. The couple had been there about 2 hours before they noticed the foul smell. Perhaps the Sasquatch had been making its way down through the forest on its way to water, and either drink or fish when it came upon the couple parked in the car. The witness felt that it was curious about him. Witness said that his girlfriend did not leave the car. The witness said that he felt like peeling on out of there, but knew that I was seeing something incredible. That's probably why I stayed to watch it. I find it rather odd that when the creature walked deeper into the forest that there was no noise, like no snapping of twigs or branches were heard. But if the ground had been wet or damp, this may account for its silence. based on the above description, it appears that the witness had an extremely decent view of the Sasquatch. He had noted many typical Sasquatch features and characteristics. Upon a tree comparison at the site with the witness, it seemed that the creature was closer to 7 feet tall. There you have it, guys. Some more accounts of old stories being told. I think we've done one of the Yellowtop stories before, so that would have been 3 stories of Yellowtop. But in any case, the last one intrigued me. The researcher, I'm not sure why he didn't ask what they were doing parked there after the party, but I think we all know what they were doing. So I hope you guys enjoyed these 5 stories today. And if these stories reminded you of an encounter that you may have had and would like to share, then please forward your stories to OntarioCryptids@gmail.com. I would be more than honored to share your story on my channel. Thank you all for listening until the end. I truly appreciate it. Please hit that like button on your way out and smash that subscribe button if you're new to my channel. I want you all to have a fantastic weekend, and I hope you have a great week ahead. And I also hope to see you all next week right here on Ontario Cryptids.